Hello, it's that time again. Get up, get off the couch, and tackle your own to-do list. On today's episode, we teach you how to tackle your home's soffit and fascia. Load the truck, ladders, tools, all materials. And don't forget the coffee maker. Let's go. I am your host, Bob Assadourian. Love home reno? Do not change the channel. We're going to kick it off today with a viewer's question. Her question was about a chimney. I spoke to the lady, Michelle, wonderful lady. We're going to show you our never-ending largest home improvement database by featuring a way that you can learn from past episodes. We're on the great heights today to answer the viewer's email with regards to chimneys. What I like to say is at Triple R we have our 3 R's for chimneys. Number 1, repair it. When you can, cost effective to fill in the depleted mortar joints with fresh mortar. As you can see on this one, some of the mortar joints are completely disintegrated. You can practically almost stick half your finger in the joint. That's not good. Whether it's springtime or fall or before winter, moisture will get in there. It will degrade and pop and break off the face of the brick and cause serious structural damage. Second R, rebuild it. That varies chimney to chimney. Some of them you may only have to rebuild the top several courses. Others you have to take it down right to the roof line and rebuild it completely. Third R, rid yourself of it. In today's day and age, there is no need for a masonry chimney on a home. As a matter of fact, they haven't been used for well over 15 years in new construction in Ontario. Scan the QR code on your screen. That'll take you back to the Just Ask Bob show last season. To an awesome program where we rid the homeowners of their chimney. Everything from taking it down, brick by brick, bagging it, loading the truck, wood framing the opening, plywood, ice and water shield, deck armor, and ending it off with the matching shingles. Very educational, informative episode from last season. Once you rid yourself of the chimney, there's a variety of direct vent gas appliances. Modern furnaces, hot water tanks, and fireplaces do not require a chimney. They direct vent right out the side wall of the foundation. So there's a lot of various possibilities. But whatever you do, work safe. That's critical. And if you're not comfortable, contact and hire a licensed contractor. Now we move on to today's email from a viewer, which directly ties in our renovation footage. Hello, Bob. We just had a new roof put on our home, and we're told that in order to qualify for the warranty, we will need to remove our wooden soffits to create air intake into the attic. Our home is in need of all new eaves troughs, so I guess this would be a good time to get it all replaced. The big question is, or battle, between my husband and I, that he wants to tackle it himself with his friends, at least the demo portion, and then hire someone to finish it. I would rather we just hire someone to do it all right the first time. How difficult a job is this? Teresa, thank you very much for the question. Now, as for the battle between you and your husband, you both have points. I can see his side. You're going to save a ton of money because believe me, home improvements are costly, especially when the contractor's licensed. Now, I can understand your point of view as well because he may procrastinate. He may have bitten off a little more than he can chew. So that's between the two of you to resolve. What I can do today is we have some job site footage from one of our past jobs, which pretty well directly ties in to your home improvement project. Again, it's quite a challenge. This one on a skill level from 0 to 10, maybe a 7 or an 8. So it's quite a bit of work to tackle this. Our program is always interactive. Follow us on social media, everywhere from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and LinkedIn. Very simple. Type in Just Ask Bob or Bob Assadourian in the search and follow us for everything to do with home renovations. Send us your questions by any of the following means through social media. Phone them in, email them to our ever-growing database, and we will always respond to you, either responding to your email or responding to your question. And the answer to your question may very well be featured on a future episode or answered in our newsletter. Visit our website, subscribe to our newsletter. There's also a contest which is coming to an end. With that contest, you have a chance to win one 4 $25 Home Depot gift cards as a treat to get yourself up and off the couch and tackle that never-ending to-do list. Stay tuned and stay focused. Up next on our job site. We're going to show you how to take off the eaves troughs. Now believe me, it's a pain. There's no real easy way to do it. These are old style eaves troughs with the nails. So you want to get your pry bar. You want to get underneath and pry. All right, that was too easy. We try to pull out these nails. That way they're not falling all over the place. Sometimes they come out, sometimes they don't. That's okay, that one can stay. Once you have a section loose, bend it down. We have 2 more nails removed. Again, we're going to fold it down and collapse it. We've got to be careful here with the coaxial or telephone cables. So we're going to disconnect this section of eaves trough from where it changes direction to the side with the Milwaukee Sawzall. All right, she's cut. There we go. Next, we're going to show you how to take off the aluminum fascia. All right, the fascia locks in the soffit. So to be smart, ideally you want to remove the fascia first. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. Now we're going to take off the soffit. You want to be careful when you're working near windows. Each piece has 1 screw. All right, time to pick up the speed and fly. Now that we have the aluminum cladding off, which was the aluminum fascia and aluminum soffit, it's time to address the structure. These old Hamilton homes were built with 1-inch thick fascia boards. It's cracked and split in areas, and the most important thing is I don't trust it to support an eaves trough that's full of ice. That weight could pull it off. So we're going to be replacing all of the wood fascia. Now, as far as the soffit, technology's changed a lot. Building code has advanced. Back at the time that these homes were built, the soffit was solid wood. No breathing in the attic space. Decades later, they would cut small little register holes every maybe 10 to 12 feet. And then you would have literally a vent cover installed. So this predates aluminum soffit and aluminum fascia. That small little intake vent would let air in, create a convection, a draw, and then exhale out the rooftop vents. Later on, when aluminum soffit was developed in the marketplace, many installers would just cover it, leaving the solid wood soffit. That's not good. Again, building code has evolved. Today, we're going to be ripping off the soffit completely to create a full, unrestricted draw, a current of air. You'll need a pry bar and a hammer. You want to find a joint here where there's two separate pieces, a seam. Ideally, you don't want to split it. You want to get the whole thing off. Sometimes it's not possible. Now we're going to leave the pry bar jammed up here. We're going to move over a little bit. Get the hammer in and pry. Pull out the pry bar. Get in a little further. And then pull. In a perfect world, you're going to get it off in one length. This is very old and rotting, so it's going to come off in a lot of little pieces. Now that the fascia has been removed, very important, we take the soffit down. We want complete breathability. You want to use your pry bar strategically. You've got the long end, you've got the short end. There's a difference. Long end, pry down. Short end, you pry differently again. All right, this is a long one. We're going to try to get it out in one shot. You want to wiggle. That a lot of nails or what? Lots of nails. You want to be careful. Our first piece of fascia has been installed. A nice unit, and it's treated. 1 by 8 by 8. 1 inch thick, 8 inches deep, 8 feet long. We have hundreds of feet on this project, so you won't be able to follow us through everything, but it's very important. Some of the basic fundamentals. Number 1, no nails. I know you contractors out there can probably knock this off in a whole day, save a ton of time firing away with a battery-operated nailer as opposed to a drill. When you nail, you create a hole. Moisture temperatures will change the properties of the wood, and the nail is going to come loose, hands down. Always use screws. Not any screw that your contractor happens to have in his tool pouch. Not a drywall screw, not a flooring screw. You need to use a structural screw. You're not just compensating for the weight of the board. We're talking about an eaves trough that can be full of either water or at times ice. That's a tremendous weight load, and you can pull the entire assembly out and cause a lot of damage. So it's very important to make sure you understand. Another quick tip regarding the fascia material. This is 1 inch. I would have preferred to use 2 by dimensional lumber, meaning a 2 by 8, which is actually 1.5 inches thick. We couldn't do it on this project because of the drip edge. The metal drip edge protecting the first course of shingles, or allowing water to flow into the eaves trough, that drip edge was on tight from the roofers, so we couldn't force the additional thickness of 1.5 inches underneath it. That would have caused a disaster, because if the drip edge was behind our fascia, it'll guide the water behind the fascia assembly. So it's very important to think things through, work safely, and always plan it out. On an upcoming episode, hopefully this season, or season 9 this fall, we're going to continue this project. You have Bob's word on it, where we're going to show you the aluminum fascia installation, aluminum soffit installation, and of course the eaves troughs. Stay tuned. Up next, we're back at the shop. This program has 2 goals in mind, always. Number 1, to motivate you to get up, get off the couch, and tackle that never-ending to-do list of repairs and renovations around your home. Now, if for whatever reason you can't tackle that list, maybe the ladder's not tall enough to reach the 2nd story eaves trough, maybe it's a lack of time, that's fine, no problem at all. Goal number 2, we will always endeavor to demystify not only how to do the home renovations, but the hiring process in order to find what I call the right contractor for you and your home. Not any contractor, the right one. Everything starts and everything begins with licensing. Unlike reality television, today's host is actually licensed. Not 1, but 2. The master and the building repair. Let's take a moment to explain that for the viewers today. When you're looking to find a contractor, again, not any type of contractor, you should be looking for somebody that's licensed. Not only is it the law, but it's going to ensure that your project begins on a solid foundation. My municipality, Hamilton, Ontario, has a 3-step system in place. Number 1, you purchase yourself the building code, you study long and hard. Number 2, you apply for a police clearance. You will need the police clearance before you can go fill out the application for the trade board examination. Number 3, you sign an attestation form proving, acknowledging that you carry minimum $2 million liability insurance. Beautiful program that's in place. Now, other municipalities, not exactly so. It's a little bit of the Wild West out there throughout the province. Essentially, the province of Ontario does not respect us. What shall we call ourselves? Everything from the bum, the handy person, right to the licensed contractor. Oh, and in between, you've got the moonlighter. Who's the moonlighter? I get asked that often. The moonlighter may very well be a great tradesperson in their own right. However, they're not a business. They work for a contractor. They're an employee. So they're generally only going to work in your home evenings and weekends. And guess what? You're going to foot the bill for the entire products that are needed and required. All the materials, you're going to have to buy them. And in most cases, these moonlighters, so to speak, they only take cash. So there's a lot of different possibilities there. Now back again to the province of Ontario, we know Hamilton does it right. Burlington next door to us abandoned their trade license program in early 2002 due to budget constraints. Let's take a look at a final example now. Brantford, Ontario. This one is just bizarre. In that municipality, prospective contractor, as of yesterday, pumping gas at the gas station, that's fine. The next day, he's a licensed contractor by having forked over $300-400, and that's it. No attestation for insurance, no studying the Ontario Building Code, no examination. Now talk about a money grab. That does absolutely nothing to protect the residents. Let's take a moment and recap some of today's work. Again, this is somewhat of a small home. It's maybe about 300 linear feet, all four sides. I don't know what size your home is, but again, before advocating for you to DIY yourself, make sure you're capable and you can do it safely. I don't want anybody to end up on the couch and not to be able to get up and off the couch again. So that's important. Right now, you're looking at the back of the home. You can see all of the soffit's been removed. We have one piece of wood fascia on the topic now, our segment of Bob's Top Picks and Bob's Bewares from a contractor with over 20 years experience. Let's talk about screws. Let's talk about fasteners. Right here we have flooring screws or construction screws. Please do not use these for anything structural. As it says, construction screws or flooring screws, they're not structural. You do not want to use these to attach anything that requires strength, such as a wood fascia. What I do recommend, specifically by brand, is Simpson Strong Tie, or for that matter, any screw that says structural. You're not going to have any problems there. So leave the drywall screws for drywall, leave the flooring screws for flooring. For products like this and all real-time updates on everything home rental, follow the Just Ask Bob show on social media. From Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, right to LinkedIn. Very easy. Type in Just Ask Bob or Bob Assadourian in the search bar. We also have a newsletter. Visit our website, subscribe to the newsletter for everything to do with home rental. Again, this show is interactive. Your questions may be featured on a future program. We want to engage with you. We proudly host the largest home improvement database on the net, hands down, at justaskbob.com, where you can learn the way that you learn best by watching, reading, or listening. You can watch hundreds of these episodes on the site, pause, fast forward, rewind at your own pace. You can listen to the former Just Ask Bob call-in radio show, not on one Hamilton network, but on two. Or you can read over 10 years of home improvement Q&A columns that we have written. A university of knowledge for the taking and for the asking. Don't forget, everything is interactive. Your question may be featured on a future program right on this network, or we may simply email you an answer, or we may answer your question in our monthly newsletter. And anytime at all, it's never a trouble. Pick up the phone and call. 289-649-0196. Again, that's 289-649-0196. Until next time, see you.